Good morning. Welcome back to the Bob and Oscar Workshop, also known as our basement. I wanted to spend a little time this morning talking about how it started and how it's going. So we'll give you a little history of the company, give you a little bit of a tour of our workshop here, talk about what we're up to these days. But first I want to spend a little time talking about where it started. So it started making watch straps. So this is a watch strap that I made out of veg tan leather. I actually dyed this one. And then you've got a whole series of ones that I experimented with and made, and it was fun to make and change these out. These are all for one particular watch. Actually, the watch that I'm wearing, that's got an M in it. So that's got some significance. And then there's an orange one. This was the most recent one that I made. This is made out of a football that was probably about 42 or 43 years old. It was a practice football from my days at the University of Michigan, and really loved the way this turned out. I actually made a couple watch straps out of that football. And we evolved from watch straps to making larger items. This was the very first tote bag we made. This is one that my wife carries. And all of this is hand stitched. So it was hard work, took a lot of time, very tedious. But I think for this being my first bag, if you will, the end result, was pretty nice. Now we use the cowboy sewing machine in the background to make most of our items. But we got a lot of other tools here in the workshop. We'll show some of those to you and give you a little bit more history about Bob and Oscar. So thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the tour. So when you come down the steps into the workshop, one of the first things you'll see is our Bob and Oscar logo. Bob was my dad. He was a tool and die maker, a craftsman. Oscar was my grandfather, who was a furniture maker. And next to that, you can see these are just some designs that I tinkered around with before we decided that's what the Bob and Oscar logo was going to look like. That cabinet there in the middle is one that Bob refinished probably in the 70s. It's an antique medicine cabinet. We use that to store a thread in. And then we have our smaller sewing machine, and then our bigger sewing machine, our cowboy. We use that to sew straps and everything, really. So it goes through about 3/8 of an inch of leather. So probably about as thick as your finger almost. And then as you walk into the workshop, over to the left, that's our main workbench. That's got all of our hand tools on it. And a lot of these tools have some history. This was Oscar's hammer. Some of these punches over here belong to Bob, especially the grommet setters. This is actually what is called an end punch. You use that to make the end of a strap with. Dies, hardware. Tools over here include this skives the end of a belt, so to thin a belt so you can fold it over around the buckle easily. This rounds the edges of a strap. This is a press that you would use to press your logo into leather or other things you might need a press for. This is a rivet setter called a Little Wonder. It's a great tool, very versatile. We use that a lot. It also sets snaps. We use this to sand edges and burnish them. They got a nice smooth round feel. That's one of the first big projects we made when we got our cowboy sewing machine was that apron, which is my personal apron. And over here we have a bell knife skiver. You use that to thin the edges of leather when you're making a rolled edge so you can sew it. And this is a clicker press. This rolls around. You pull the lever on that, and it will use that little die there to cut. And that's particularly used for a keychain. So there's an example of some keychain blanks, some wallet blanks. Really valuable tools, and we'll get more of those because it's just a real time saver. We have got some leather stored under there. This is our main cutting bench where we store leather as well. Lots of different thicknesses and stiffnesses and colors. But this is where all of our projects really start, is on this table here. We'll roll that out. and take those rulers up there on the wall and start cutting. Over here we've got some small items that we make: cigar cases, passport covers, field notes, small wallets, things like that. Some of the bags that we have, so fringe bags, those camo bags are very nice. You can see our large tote bags in the back. We've also got some mini totes back there, which are back here on the other side. So that's a mini tote there on the left. All those straps are hand cut. We cut those to make bag straps and belts. We do make belts. Leather aprons, very popular item. Those are journal covers, ballet trays, big, medium, small. We got some watch rolls there. And those are some of the items that we're currently making. So you saw where we started and some of the things that we're currently doing as well. So thanks for joining us from the Bob and Oscar Workshop. We hope you'll come back and spend some time with us again. And if you like some of our products, reach out and we'll give you some more details on them. Thanks.